Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Or whatever.
How about this, Cowboys?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition of the Jersey Boyz Podcast right here on the Chop Sports Media YouTube channel. And, of course, the premier podcast network. Your hosts right here, as always, Dave Sturchio alongside nationally known comedian Bret Ernst and the Grinch himself, America's fan, Keith Ernst. Boys and girls, Cowboys Nation out there, the Cowboys fall short to the Miami Dolphins. There's a lot to be discussed about that game, a lot to be discussed about the NFC East picture as a whole, a lot to be discussed about what we just saw out of MVP candidate Brock Purdy. So there's a lot of shit to get into. But first, obviously, Keith, we'll dive into the Dallas Cowboys losing to Miami. There was a group chat for, I want to say, 80% of the game, and then it just kind of went to the wayside while I was talking to myself like a psychopath. I do that time to time. Bret at least came up with the excuse that, he was getting bombarded by probably Miami fan text messages, but no excuse for Keith. Keith, your first knee-jerk reaction to the Cowboys now dropping yet another one on the road and fall to 10-5 and officially right now, as it stands, second place in the NFC East.
So first off, I watched the game with Bret, and he was getting frustrated with text just in his. And I
forgot you guys were together until you guys recalled me today.
I didn't turn my phone off. I just ignored you because I didn't want to ruin your Christmas and say something that little Sturch would get all upset with.
I was already too upset.
And I didn't want to argue on Christmas about this. I'm at, this is the first game, everybody, that, because I keep track of this stuff, that all three of us got wrong since the 49er game. So
Did anybody pick the 49ers?
No, we all
right? Okay.
Cowboys, just like we all picked them in this one. Okay. So that just shows you we're not a fanboy, we're not a fanboy podcast. I mean, I know Bret has picked them to win every week, but regardless, though, that's not us and that's not what we do. But so I was shocked. I mean, I predicted a double-digit win. I predicted us to bounce back. And this was all looking at who Miami played, where they had hiccups. I mean, I did my background, how we respond from losses, all those kind of things. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, the one thing I disagree with is people blaming the offense for this. I think it's the defense's fault, not the offense's. And when you look at our defense, and this is insane, actually, and this is what happens on the road to them. And here's the thing, too. I'm in my car talking to myself, right? Because I'm thinking about things that get to me, and I'm like, I could talk about on the show, and everything comes out so lucid and perfect and clear in the car. And I'm like, I don't know if I can reiterate the same fucking thing I just said on the show to make my point. So I'm trying to do that again now, by the way, because I look at our road woes, and it's almost every game is so fucking similar in our losses, whether it's by a lot of points or not. And going to we'll just talk about this game. So blaming the offense, blaming the defense for this. You can't, okay? The Dolphins had 9 drives. They scored on 6 of them, okay? And out of those 3 drives, they didn't score. One of them, they drove all the way down to the 5 fucking yard line. And our defense ended up holding them, but still, they could have scored points on that. So technically, when you look at it, they drove and scored or could have scored on 7 of the 9 fucking drives, man. That is not, and I'm sorry, I don't even know if I can even say this defense is above average anymore.
So they
might just be average or a little below average. Because
I was just saying, just based on that, though, I mean, holding them to field goals, is that not the name of the game when they get past the 50?
It's not, because they add up. I mean, fuck, that's bro. If you score 20 points in a game and you have a great defense, you should win every fucking time, especially on that last drive. And the thing is, the thing that hurts our team, okay, and it's almost like, and they can't persevere, like they can't get over something. When something happens in a game, they just fucking crumble. you know? And it's one of those things where, okay, you know, on that final drive, this is once I say again, and Bret and I were sitting next to each other, and I go, gun to our head right now, do the Cowboys win? He goes, no. And I go, we're winning. That's what I said.
At what
After
point?
we scored that touchdown, and it was
Okay.
20-19, and there's 3 minutes left, because I, once again, stupid, gullible fucking me, thinks this defense is going to come through and make a big play when they have to. Okay? Not against the fucking Jets when we're up 30-3. I'm talking about now. Game on the line. And what do? Fucking Damone Clark face mask, right?
He loses his own shit. God.
Face mask, Achian, and gives him a plus 15 fucking yards. Now they're only 5 yards away from field goal. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? You know? And another thing we can't do, and I'm sorry for talking so long, but we're going to talk about this, I'm sure, again, is we can't win. Like, we need the perfect fucking game to win on the road. Like, perfect. And not only, against a good team. Not only perfect, we need breaks on the other side. And not only that, and the only reason I say that is the refs, they just don't make calls. They just don't.
All right, now you step into what I was talking about. First of all, number one, we played the number one offense in the NFL. Okay, so you're supposed to have those games where, like, okay, the offense is gonna score, we're holding them to field goals. It's not like, we're just gonna run over everybody. The offense to me is really, if I had to pick two, I mean, even kind of sucked. But because I told Keith, once they score, if we have even 2 minutes, all they got to do is get in field goal range and it's over. Now, not counting the fact that Lepke fumbled at the goal line, which that was another 7.
Huge.
They don't call any penalties on our against us or for us. And
Well,
I'm like, dude, they're holding the whole game.
35 quarters since they called a official stat. 35 quarters of football since they called the holding against Micah Parsons.
Well, that's what I was going to have Keith bring up because he looked it up. That's insane to me. That's insane. It's blatantly obvious.
I mean, there's still shots of him getting choked out. It's like,
well,
they just didn't.
Well, it's
not the calls they're making; it's the ones they're not making. It's just obvious, But our offense, I felt, we couldn't get going, man. We could not get going.
I think there's something,
bro. Hold on. That's the whole thing. They had some slumps and I even said, Dak looks scared sometimes, but dude, we won time of possession. Now he needs to hear this.
Well, I'll go on a little bit of a rantsky before you do that. He
can
hear us, man.
Okay.
No, but all right, go ahead.
No, I was going to say we won time of possession. Okay. Out of all the fucking drives we had, we only had 2 3 and outs. We were moving the ball. I mean, this is what everyone's forgetting here, and I think the problem here is with us is I'm still on this is what I expect from our offense, and actually they're exceeding my expectations. Okay, I think you guys you think a lot. You think there's supposed to be a lot more from this offense. They controlled the clock. In the end, they put up 21 points. I mean, what else? That's how you win games.
Yeah, but there was key first downs they needed to make. All right, again, it's not how, it's when are we making the plays we need to play? We need to make. For us to be up by only a point, we should have been up by at least 8 or 9.
But you just got finished saying that we're not going to run over every team, and we're not going to do.
Well, that's not running. I don't think up 7 or 8 or 9 is running over.
No, it's not. But I meant still though, we scored 20 fucking points.
We should have got in the end zone, and we didn't. We were in the and we had to settle for 3.
And that's fucking and also that you're bringing up Lupke. Fucking Tony Pollard doesn't know how to run in a goddamn 1-yard run either.
Well, all right. That's what nobody said Tony Pollard had a great game because I was saying to my brother, he's running sloppy. There's something off. Like, well,
it's either one of two things. It's either, I understand that because it's either one of two things. One, he's not recovered from his broken ankle or whatever he broke, Or two, something that I've kind of harped on, and I see it. I literally see it, just like even in the woes of the past. The Cowboys just can't play that well and fast on grass. They just can't. It's just the weirdest thing. They just look like they're stuck in the mud. And listen, there's a still shot, it's usually like the parody accounts, but like there's a still shot of Pollard and it says, "This was not a touchdown." And it's like,
yeah,
he has the entire angle, but yet let's put our shoulder down as a 200-pound, if that, running back to try to finesse it and get arm tackled by somebody. That's one thing. Another drive, obviously, Hunter Limpke. All right, we've watched this Cowboys team go 10-4. That's 14 games worth. Why now is it time for Hunter Limpke to get the ball? Why now? Is it like all of a sudden it's like, is that Mike McCarthy saying like, they'll never see this shit coming? Like, does he think he's still the smartest guy in the room? And for the love of God, if I see one more play action pass from inside the one, like, give me a break. You're not the smartest guy in the room. You ain't going to figure it out. You ain't going to just, I can't believe he's this wide open. Pound the rock. It could be you. It could be us three running the ball for a half yard. For the love of God, make it happen.
I agree with you. We should have pounded it both times when me and my brother were like, why aren't they running the fucking ball? They did
even if they score, it's a waste
a stupid
down.
screenplay. Just run the ball. Just run it. And give it to Rico then. Don't Dowell.
Yeah. Listen,
Sturch, that Pollard play and Hunter play were the same play, with the same drive.
Yeah.
Was it?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The Hunter play doesn't happen if fucking Pollard knows how to take a goddamn angle.
That's very true. All right, you're right. But at the same time, again, the play calling. Why do we think we're going to outsmart somebody? And yeah, there's been times where the play action passes worked and he's been able to throw it to Terrence fucking Steele in the back of the end zone because nobody saw it coming, right? Cool, cute, that's great. But when you know you're going against, like Bret just said, if you know you're going against the number one fucking offense in football, you got to score points.
I can't. See, this is why I wasn't going to fucking text, okay? Because you guys talk about fucking, numbers.
What are you getting upset about?
I'm getting upset because I'm the fucking Grinch. That's why, all right?
Yeah, dog.
And I'll tell you right now, because it doesn't make any sense. Who has fucking Miami played to have the number one offense? Who?
No. I'm not saying they have. They've been
it
world
doesn't
beaters.
matter. That's my point. It's like, they have the number one offense. Playing the fucking Jets, playing the Patriots. They played shitty. When they played good defenses, they've fucking faltered. And guess what? They didn't against ours. That's what I'm trying to say. All my point is we don't have a good defense.
I totally understand it.
We don't have a good defense. But why? I know that. I get it.
That's
what I'm saying. We're blaming the offense for this. We shouldn't be blaming the offense. We should be blaming the defense.
No. The offense bears some responsibility on this. Bro.
They put 20 points up.
Okay. They put 23, so we needed 24.
Fine. We scored when we had to score at the end. Our defense, they drove when they had to drive. Our defense could not fucking stop them on that last drive.
Wait, hold on a second. Again. How good do you think the Dolphins' defense is?
No, they're ranked. We went over this last. I know where they're ranked. But it's when they play teams. Bro, Philly put up I don't know, plus 40 on them. I mean, there are teams that their defense isn't that great either. Okay? No. They're good statistically. Statistically, they're like 6 or 7. No,
you ever hear the theory of games that? Listen, if you ever hear the theory of,
go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
What I'm asking is, and this directs to Keith really, and both of you guys. But have you ever heard a theory? This game's going to be one of those games where whoever has the ball last wins. That's what this was. Because when Dak Prescott was asked to go down up tempo and go and score and win the game, he did it. He just left too much time on the clock for a defense that's susceptible against the run, and a 15-yard face mask penalty ruined everything. It didn't matter what you had drawn up on defense. You grab somebody's face mask when they're starting on the 25, guess what? They're on the fucking 50 in a blink of an eye.
Therefore, and that's stupid football. That all plays into it. I'm not just saying getting ran on. I'm talking about dumb fucking penalties.
No. And you know what? And unfortunately, one of the things that Mike McCarthy on exit post games, I'm talking when the Niners ended our season twice, How many times did that fucking guy go harp on, we got to be more disciplined, we got to clean up the penalties? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The 10-5 Dallas Cowboys are the highest penalized team in football right now. That means lack of discipline. That means lack of leadership. I don't want to hear about DeMarcus Lawrence or Micah Parsons or how good they are, because I believe that they're some of the best in football at their position. However, when you don't have leadership, real leadership to say, hey, don't grab a fucking face mask, dude. You know what I mean? Like, stop tackling up top. Go wrap up low. Stop trying to lay the boom hit stick on somebody when you can wrap up somebody. How many times do we have them pinned behind the line of scrimmage and they turn it into a 6-yard gain? You know what I'm saying? So it is technically, if you really want to place blame in the heat of the moment, which I know we're all heated up because they lost again, but the heat of the moment, you got to put it on the defense. You have to.
Yes. That's all I want to hear.
When it came down to it, you got to put it on the defense. And look,
but
Keith, I won't go as far as what you just did.
Good.
I'm just saying I won't go as far as Keith just did because
if you had the number 3 defense going up against the number 1 offense, okay, or then you have like the number 3 offense going up against the number 16th defense, because that's about where they were. All right. So you have the number 1 offense going up against the number 2 or 3 defense. There's gonna be some bending and give and take there.
Sure.
When you have the number 2 offense going up against the number 16th defense, we did not perform as well as we should have against the Dolphins defense. Now, again, if you're doing a blank slate, yeah, of course, because I mean, dude, they couldn't hold them. They could not stop the Dolphins from scoring. I mean, even getting in field goal range 5 fucking times and making those field goals. The defense absolutely didn't step up like they should have. But we cannot not lay responsibility on the offense not moving the ball and also on McCarthy's play calling or whoever was calling those plays. I mean, that was just it was stupid. It was fucking stupid. When you're on the goal line, what are we passing? What are we passing for? Just run it. Put the ball in. Give it.
Let alone this. Ready for this, bro? When they're inside the 5, inside the 3, and you're in shotgun.
That's what I meant.
And that's another thing. My dad said it best, and I agree. What, like, they're and there was times where they were pinned on their own 5, right? Their own 5, right? Backs against the wall, can't drop back, whatever. Why even waste a second of a time with play action? You know damn well that Dak is getting murdered back there because Tyron Smith is out, which, by the way, is a big, big factor of how Dak plays. I'm telling you right now, that's a big thing. My dad said it. I agree. Those are the things that when he's out, Dak plays a little bit more timid, a little bit more gun shy, because you missed your biggest hoss. Zach Martin, yes, he's great for the interior, but those blind sides and the edges, that's set by 2 big dudes. And when Steele has his bad games, Dak sucks. When Tyron Smith is out, Dak sucks. Dak didn't really necessarily suck in this game. He was just gun shy and couldn't get the ball moving. But why? You're not faking anybody out by running play action inside your own 5, because they know.
We ended up getting pushed back even further.
Right.
It's just bad. It was bad calling. I mean, I'm watching the game.
I wish I could go back. Oh, go ahead. Go.
Run the fucking ball. Just run it.
See, this is the thing right here.
I sounded like Key's friend, whatever his name is, the one that's always run the ball.
So this is going back to the Rams game. And I remember fucking everything, unfortunately, and I have an issue. That's why I'm fucking nowhere in life with this stupid fucking team, okay? Because these are the things I remember. Going back to the Rams game when it was 4th and 1, and we did a play action and barely made a catch to CeeDee Lamb. You two were all, what a great fucking call. Go back to it. I'll go back to the fucking text and everything. And my whole thing is, something like that is going to burn us.
What's your whole thing? What are you bringing up the fucking Rams game for?
What I'm trying to say is if that play action worked, you guys would be like, oh, that's a great call.
No, because I was still yelling, run the fucking ball. First of all, when it's 4th and 1, when it's 4th and 1, what do you think the defense is going to think? It's going to be a run.
Hey, first of all, Keith, where was the 4th and 1 on the field?
That one was like on the 40-yard line.
40-yard line, right?
No, our 40-yard line. So
I don't care.
If we don't get that
40-yard line. Could be your 40-yard line. What I'm saying is, we ain't going to say that shit. I'm not going to say that shit when they're inside the 3. I'm not ever. Ever.
You're never going to say that inside the 3. Well, I get you. I guarantee you, if he would have connected the CD or something, and I came out and said, "Man, they should have ran it." Oh no, that was a beautiful play call.
I'll say, I'll tell you exactly what I would say.
Bro? Wait, here's what's fucking weird. You can never just talk about the game. You got to bring up when you want to be right, when we're not acknowledging you, shit like that.
No.
You're
it's not acknowledging me.
Right,
it's the hypocrisy. It's the misinformation. It's talking to our fans that listen, and you say one thing one week, and you say another the next week.
Yeah,
you
just like you
mix everything up.
So wait,
you mix everything up.
In every play calling situation in the NFL, okay, you're comparing apples and oranges there. You're comparing us being on the goal line on,
right.
What was it, 1st and goal to now being on.
I can say this. I can actually tell you, Keith, I can actually tell you what I would say in a situation where if it's, let's just say it's 4th and goal from the inch line or 1st and goal from the inch line, and they throw a fade pattern.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
No, but I'm saying what I would tell you.
You're saying they're pinned back. They're pinned back and the play action. I'm talking about that. When you said when they were pinned back.
Yeah, no.
Right?
I'm talking about
That's what I'm talking about.
Why even do play action? Because that half a second is pivotal when you don't have a line. That's what I'm talking about in that regard.
Okay.
I'm talking about when you're like, oh, I love that call, great call if he makes it. No. What I would say verbatim, I know exactly how I would feel because it's happened before. If they hit fucking Hendershot or Ferguson for a play action from inside the 1, I will say, I didn't like the call, but good. Great, we scored. But I didn't like the call.
No, but you're confusing 2 scenarios here. I thought you're talking about when we're pinned back and we're on like the 2-yard line or whatever we were after that punt, and they're doing play action. That's what you're talking about? Or were you talking
about when we're on the goal line going into score?
2 different scenarios, and I'm saying this. My stance is very solid. Inside the 1, run the fucking ball. If you're inside your own 5, stop with the play action shit. Nobody thinks you're running.
Okay, I'm talking about inside your own 5.
Okay, fine.
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
that's the thing I'm talking about.
When we said it
Sturch was talking about inside our 5. He's talking about inside. I was referring to.
What do you think fucking 1st and goal means?
No. Our 5 is backed up.
Bro. Listen.
Backed up. Brett,
we're talking about when they fucking punted and we had the ball inside our 5.
Right.
Our own 5. Right.
And you guys are saying a play action is fucking stupid there.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not, because it's almost the same as having 4th and 1 on the 40 because they're all expecting you to run.
All right. I see where the miscommunication is. All right.
All right. Fine.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not talking about us having the ball on the goal line. I'm not talking about us having the ball on the goal line.
That's chapter 2. How good is Brandon Aubrey, huh?
No, wait. We're getting back to that. When it was 1st and goal and we weren't pounding that ball in, and then we ended up running the screen, and then he ended up doing the play action, which fucking caused, I thought it was a penalty, or he got sacked. It pushed us back even more. So yeah, it pushed us back even more. That's what I'm talking about.
And I agree with you.
And that's comical.
I agree with you 110% on that. No, you get the ball in the half-yard line first fucking down. You run it 3 or 4 times to get it. Absolutely.
That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
But again, you see how us 3, people that have watched, played, analyzed the game, right? 3 of us poll 100 people inside the 1, A or B. You running or you passing, right? I'm going to go with a broad 95-5. There's going to be some schmucks out there like, well, they'll never see this coming, right? But like, that's not what you're supposed to do in these big games in December. You're not supposed to test something out. Let's see if this works.
The best example, Sturchie, is the tush push. Okay, the Philadelphia push, whatever they call it. It's a yard. It's a fucking yard. If you're pushing and going forward, okay, it's a yard. You do that 2 times, you're in. You can't stop it.
Correct.
Kelsey even made a joke when he was on that thing with his brother where he's like, I don't know why people don't do this all the time.
Well,
all the time they do it, it's got 100% success rate.
It's got for the Eagles. The Eagles, I believe, is like 96%. The rest of the league is like 75. But it doesn't matter. Like, it is a yard, and that's how you get it. Do you believe in your guys to push those guys for a yard? Because
there's 4 tries. So if you have a 75% chance, Sam,
you have Dak Prescott.
3 out of 4, you're going to cross.
Yeah, Dak Prescott's, it's 200 pounds plus of meat and he's 6'3", right? Guess what? Lean fucking forward and you're in the end zone. Lean forward and you're in the end zone. Do the whole stupid dunk thing that some of the quarterbacks do where they just whoop and they're over the top, touchdown. Why anything else is ever called is beyond me, and it's malpractice, honestly. That's what it is.
This is how I would stop it as a defensive coordinator.
I'd slip their fucking Achilles.
No. So if you notice how low the offense gets, right?
Yeah.
The defense, instead of trying to push them, the defense,
You want somebody to jump over the top?
No. Get under them and just stand them up. Because I think I'm being serious. Just stand them up. Because when you're both pushing each other, you're going to go a certain direction. And he finds a little. If you just stand somebody up, if you can get lower than that offensive lineman and just stand them up, they're fucking strong. Make a wall that when he hits it, he's going to have to go somewhere else. And hopefully they can. That's what I would do. Because every time I watch it, it's almost like a competition. Who's going to, I'm going to get
it's like the opening kickoff of rugby. It's just like guys.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Fucking heads.
Just stand your ground as a defensive lineman. Instead of pushing, stand straight up and don't let him. Anyways.
In any event.
Yeah. But also, I'm going to go back to what you said about the Hunter thing. I like that call, Sturch. I know you say like, oh, is he being. But look, Hunter's.
If that's a call they're making throughout the course of the year here and there, then he's
that's
a
exactly
viable
why
option.
to call it, though. But that's exactly. Look, you're in the NFL, man. That was a touchdown. You got to hold on to that fucking ball. As a matter of fact, before that play, I was like, Dak needs to take it. Bret was like, it's going to go to Hunter. It's going to go to Hunter. And he was right. And we thought they scored at first. We jumped up and then we didn't even see the fumble until after.
I fucking saw. When I tell you I saw it immediately, I said I just blurted out. So he fucking fumbled because you could tell by the way the Dolphins just go scrambling over the ball. I'm like, oh, he fumbled, and I was like, and again, it's one of those. For me, it's a mentality thing. It's like, okay, this guy has carried the ball how many times throughout the course of the year? I don't want to hear about practice reps or all that shit. How many times has that motherfucker been lit up by a defensive tackle throughout the course of the year? None, right? Like, so why now in the 15th game of the season where you're basically you're in the playoffs, I get it, but like if you really want to set out and have an actual run this year, the only way you're going to do that, to me, honestly, and this is sad to say, is if you had a home game. And now, like, you needed that win to have a fucking home game, or at least a chance at a home game. Yeah, is there still chances? Sure, we'll get into it in a little bit. But like, dude, you just now's not the time to make sure guys get reps. If you're sold on giving the ball to Hunter Lipke at the goal line, then you should be double sold on saying, you know what, Dak's got this shit. Dak Prescott can do this.
I see, but my whole thing is, it was, to me, it looked like the right call because he got into the end zone. He just fumbled this. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Look, if this is 93, 94, I'm like, you give that ball to Moose. Absolutely, bro.
I see what you're saying, but Sturch, this is you're on a professional level here. This isn't high school.
And I'm well aware of that. This guy is your fullback, and if you look around the league, two teams use fullbacks to an extent.
Doesn't matter, but it was the proper call, though. I mean, it was the right call only because he fumbled. I mean, that's
proper call. I'll say this: right. Proper call, wrong guy. Proper call, wrong guy. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
proper call, wrong guy.
Though, if they would have stuffed him, right, and then he folded, and then they got it, then I would agree that was a bad call. He was clear. He was in the end zone. He dropped it. That's just unpredictable.
Like I just said, it's the proper call to run the ball up the gut, but it better be the guy that's handled the ball the entire fucking time. And don't get me wrong, I like the kid. No, I like the kid too. I like what he can deliver. I think he's a great fullback.
Pollard didn't even get in the fucking end zone. Okay,
yeah,
so who knows how he would have ran that? Maybe Rico.
No, I'm saying Dak Prescott, man.
He's
a fucking half a yard away, dude.
No,
okay. Tell me if this bitch made Jalen Hurts can do it all season long. We can't do it once.
Well, who knows? I mean, I don't fucking know. I mean, who knows how we set it up? No, listen, bro. I was screaming for Dak to get it. Like I said, I was like, Dak, Bret was going to. But what I'm trying to say, you can't blame McCarthy for that. I mean, it was a perfectly called play to a professional football player who should have held on to the fucking ball. Otherwise, he shouldn't be on the roster.
Whoa, I'm not blaming McCarthy for running the ball. That's what he should have done. He's got the wrong personality.
But you're saying for the play he called to run the ball.
Yes.
Yeah, but see, I don't have an issue with that because
No, I
Once
don't
again-
either. I just said that. I don't have an issue with the call. I have an issue with saying, like, all right, what do we want to do? And if the offensive coordinator, if Schottenheimer's in his ear too, kind of collaborating here, and they're saying, look, we're an inch away. Let's pound the fucking rock. It's McCarthy's job to say, all right, Rico, all right, Dak, all right, but not like, all right, Hunter Lipke sounds right. Like,
Why,
no,
though?
man,
That's
not
what
now.
he's there for. But dude, then why is he on the roster?
Then why? But why haven't they done
They
it
get
at
him off the
all
fucking
this
roster.
year, bro? How many
But
times have they needed a yard?
But you're missing the yards he did get. What about he got the first downs on third down and fourth down sometime in that game?
Yeah, but I'm talking about in that situation right then and there, bro. When you need points against one of the better.
Let's move off it. I don't understand.
Right.
I don't.
And that's fine. We could agree to disagree, but I'm just saying, right call, wrong personnel, wrong guy to do what you wanted to do. You want to run the ball? You should be running the ball.
That, I'm a big Lepke guy. I love him. Not only did he fumble, he was missing blocks, man.
Yeah. Well, again, do you
know?
want him in there? Do you want him in there to be the guy to fucking pick up a blitz
Sturch,
now?
Listen, though, it's like my brother said, then why the fuck is he even on the roster? Look, you've got a lot of guys playing tender. We need some help. We need some good bodies back there blocking. We need to do something a little different. It all depends on the personnel and what's going on. If people are 100%.
And I'm well aware of that. I just don't think we're.
I'm saying he's on the fucking team. He should be doing his job. That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah, go play special teams.
Yeah,
go play special teams.
So the play was there. The call was there. The call was there. The hole was there. He just dropped the fucking ball, or maybe Dak didn't give it to him right. I mean, I don't know.
They credited they credited the fumble to Dak.
So
Dak
he might
gets
have
the
fucked
fumble.
the exchange up.
So, but here's my thing too, man. It's almost like in McCarthy's defense too, and I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised that you don't like that call, Sturch. And the main reason why is we've been fucking awful. No, I'm saying the call to give it to Hunter. That's all I'm saying.
Fine.
All right. We've been awful down there. Fucking awful. Tony Pollard can't get in. Daddle can't get in. Now you're saying Dak. I agreed with that call. He has to fucking try to find something else to do because it's not working with the other two. And Pollard showed it the fucking play before when he had an open invitation into the end zone and one of the worst fucking decisions I've ever seen by a Dallas Cowboys starting running back. That was awful. Awful. We shouldn't even be talking about this Hunter play. And the funny thing is you're talking about Hunter and you're not even barely bringing up Pollard.
No. My next sentence on my breath
the Hunter thing doesn't happen if fucking Pollard doesn't fuck up a perfect run.
So I'm here to tell you, guess what, guys? And we've been saying this, and then people have realized this. This team is built to pass the football. We do not have a running game worth a shit. And that's why, unfortunately, you do get drives where they're like, oh, we're inside the one. We can't run the rock. Might as well play action, pass it. And that could be a thing, right?
I agree.
But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Your team, if your team is going to compete, look at every good NFL team in this league. Every team is balanced and they can do both things well. The Cowboys cannot run the fucking football because they don't have the personnel. Tony Pollard, I like you. You're a good guy. You are an RB2 in the NFL. You are a spellback. Hunter Lipke, you could probably fucking blow a door open as far as blocking is concerned. That's your job. That's what you should be doing. Rico Dowdle, you've shown some burst. You are also not an RB1. These guys need a running back one. I'll leave the conversation with this. Derrick Henry is a fucking free agent next year. If they don't fucking sign that kid that guy, what do you mean I'm that? You want to talk about a guy who's going to get you that yard? Guess what? He'll get it.
No, we had that guy on the fucking team last year. And his name's Zeke Elliott. I'd rather have Zeke than him.
Fine. Give me Zeke back. In a heartbeat, give me Zeke back. And I told everybody not to cut the fucking kid.
No. You guys, we keep forgetting. It's not like we didn't want him. His agent fucked him.
You're right.
We're not paying that much money.
Shout out to Rocky, or whatever the fuck his name is. You're an idiot.
The Patriots. When he signed with the Patriots, we could have signed him. He didn't sign for much with the Patriots, dude.
Well, I guarantee you that we lowballed the shit out of him. That's what happens. When you're paying a $10 million franchise tag, you can't really necessarily remember last year's running back room was making like $26 million. Remember that shit? Right. So like the running back room was absolutely somewhere where you had to make some cost-cutting adjustments. They did that. They did it in the wrong personnel way. These guys are pet cats. They're all pet cats right now. We're all like, I love Deuce Vaughn. I love Malik Davis. I love these guys. These guys are great. But we're going back to that. Does anybody know who the fuck these guys are outside of Cowboys fans? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when Rico Dowdle is lined up, I guarantee you there's not a Miami Dolphin fan. They're just like, who? Like
unless they play fantasy football, maybe.
Unless they play fantasy football, right? But like if you're an actual, like, just old school fan.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Who the fuck is Rico Dowdle? Who's Malik Davis? Deuce Vaughn? He's 4'4". Who the fuck are these guys? Right? You only know Tony Pollard because he was the spellback from Zeke last year. That's it. That's why you know Tony Pollard, because we got to get him more reps. Guess what? We gave him more reps and we have no running game. So
we should not be mentioning Deuce Vaughn because that guy's getting
he don't get enough.
So fucking bad this season.
He don't get enough. To even
and I'll
realize.
tell you, we're not going to, if we don't win the division and we don't have home field advantage, watch what that motherfucker does against Washington, because he's going to have a lot of reps.
He's going to get play.
He's going to watch what he fucking does. And then watch the internet blow up and everyone say, oh, he should be getting more carries. Yeah. Where was he this whole time?
And you know what? Vicious cycle. The same shit we just did for fucking Pollard the year before. We're like, we got to get Pollard more touches. You see this kid? Watch. Deuce Vaughn goes for $140, 2 touchdowns against Washington. We're going to be like, where the fuck? Now we don't even need Tony Pollard. And then next year, we're going to go into camp with just fucking Deuce Vaughn. Guess what?
That ain't going to work. My whole point, and you ruined it. You just missed my whole point and ruined it. Yeah,
no. I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about, because once he does go off, we're all going to be like, where was this all year? Oh, it's because he was inactive.
Where was it? It's like, let's just incorporate him. I'm not saying get rid of a
I just said because
he's inactive.
He's inactive.
I did not say get rid of Zeke last year.
I didn't either.
Well, you're saying we did just now.
Huh? No, I'm talking about the fan base. The fan base is saying, are very clear in their passionate ways when they say Tony Pollard needs more touches. And this was going based off of last year when Zeke couldn't get going, right? So they let Zeke go. What?
It's Pat Volkerman.
It's fucking Pat Volkerman. Son of a bitch. That maniac is ruined lives.
Gone. Anyway. Ghosted on Chop Sports. We don't fucking. He put something about Tyrone Smith the other day. Like,
why did I get tagged in that now? When that I got tagged on it this morning, and he posted on December 14th. Did he add us as a tag?
I don't know. Maybe
he's a psychopath. He needs the attention.
I guess. I don't know.
Anyway, look, Cowboys drop another one on the road. Not good. Rest of the NFC plays out the way it played out. The Eagles, I can't even say take care of business. I'm telling you right now, they're beatable. They're a very beatable team. They got flaws just like everybody else, right? Jalen Hurts loves to turn that ball over now. I'm for a Dallas Cowboys. If they got to go on the road in the playoffs, I would love to go back to Philly and finish what the fuck we started over there. Honestly, that's what I'm thinking. But now, after a Miami loss, or Miami won, and I lost there, I'm just like, do we make it past Baker Mayfield at this point? I'm a little worried now. Usually, like, we need home field, and that leads to the Monday night, Christmas. You see Brock Purdy, right? MVP, odds on favorite, him and CMC and all this other shit. He throws 4 interceptions. If Dak Prescott threw 4 interceptions on fucking Christmas Eve, they'd ride him out of town. Okay, I'm just telling you, every team goes through it. My buddy is a 49er fan, best friend. He comes to me, he goes, I can't believe what I'm watching right now. And I said, I'll tell you what you're watching right now. You're watching the Cowboys 49ers from a Cowboys perspective, where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And you can't bounce back from that. Not against Lamar Jackson, not against that fucking defense. Can't do it. So once things go, let it go. Do I think Brock Purdy and the Niners are going to be okay? I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, but I meant the Ravens were playing, I think, for more than the 49ers.
Well, they both can get 1 seeds. So
I get it, but come on, the Niners are going to get. I mean, it's not even after what we fucking did against Miami and the way Phillies play. I meant Baltimore. Literally, if they want that fucking 1 seat, they're going to have to fucking literally win out. I just felt it was more. It was more. Go ahead, bro.
It's what's disgusting is that we had the Eagles end up losing, which we needed. When we end up losing to Buffalo
against Seattle, he's saying.
Oh, last week, sorry.
Yeah, but we tanked it against Buffalo. I mean, really, just shit the bed. Looked fucking awful. Then we come back and lose this one. Meanwhile, San Francisco loses like we had predicted. That they might be losing one for even fighting for the 1 seed. We really had a good shot at getting our division and our 1 seed if we would have won these last 2 games. We would have been in a really good fucking situation because the things beyond our control started happening. Now, watching some of that Giant and Eagle game, the Eagles don't look good. And then not to mention the Chiefs end up losing to the fucking Raiders. The Niners end up losing to the Ravens, right? Dallas loses to Miami. And then last week, right now it looks like Baltimore is the only team that's playing somewhat consistent.
Well, I'll ask you, Bret. Obviously you're a gambling man. You see this shit, and gamblers, successful gamblers, will see trends and they'll see these things and like the little nuances, right? But I'm asking you right now, is this league, which look at the standings across the league, not just the NFC East and everything like that.
Yeah, I know.
Week 17 is next week, right? There are like fucking 20 teams still eligible for the playoffs. Have you ever seen such a week-to-week league? Like, this is insane.
Yes, back in the day when there wasn't so much parity and it was more excellence, yeah, you saw that, right? Because you saw teams where like the last game is going to decide who wins the NFC East, because you only had 2 wild cards too back then,
It was only one at one point.
But it was about excellence. It was about the teams. There was so many good teams that could have won. What's bothering me now a little bit as a fan of football is 3 weeks ago, I was like, God, this league everybody's playing at a high level. Like Dallas was playing the best football I saw them play, even though I still thought the Niners were the best team. You know what I mean? You had in the AFC, you had, I was like, you had the 3 teams in the AFC and the 3 teams in the NFC that I thought were the best. Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, and then you had the Chiefs, the Ravens, and
Miami.
Yeah. And but we all played lousy. I mean, even Miami didn't play that great.
No.
It seems like we're the crescendo has crescended. But who knows going into the playoffs? We're just an awful away team, man. And I don't know why that is.
No,
I can't figure that out. Riddle me that. Keith,
all right.
Do you have any idea?
No. That's the one thing here that has been consistent is we're fucking awful away. That
7-0
that is consistent. What Bret's saying is true. That's not consistent. All the teams doing. What is consistent? We fucking suck on the road. And that's it. And let me tell you something. I'm not one to blame the refs, and I'm not. Okay? But I seriously, and I want to go back to this, talking about the refs and how hold on a second.
Mm-hmm. I can read lips. It's even best.
So, I think, and here's the thing, it's not just happening to the Cowboys. Okay. Myles Garrett came out too. And it's almost like, why draft an elite defensive player anymore? Why? If you can hold him and get away with it. And it's not just Myles Garrett. It's the dude on the Raiders, Crosby, whatever the hell his name is.
Crosby,
Mac.
yeah.
I mean, there's the dude on the Giants, what's his name? Thea with the TH. What the fuck?
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau, yeah. Him too. I mean, it's almost like the refs are letting these guys get. Why even invest in a pass rusher anymore then? Why?
Well, is that do you think that tips the cap? And again, Bret, this is more your field. The league wants more points.
No, hold on. Wait, I'm not finished. Okay. Because what I'm saying is yes, and that does have something that could have something to do with it. But also, if you watch with Micah, okay, like Micah Parsons, let's just take this game. We know he gets held every game. Mm-hmm. There's literally the picture everybody sees. The one guy's pulling his waist and the other guy's pulling his neck. Okay. Literally, Tua's throwing the fucking ball at the same time. Now, if you watch that in live speed, you could literally go one Mississippi and that's done. So what I think is happening, there's a memo out. There's something out to these offensive linemen saying, you can hold, but don't hold too long. But the whole thing is with a pass rusher, 1 fucking second means so much in the NFL. In other words, Tyreek he doesn't complete that 30-yard pass to Tyreek Hill if they don't hold Micah. Different ball game. Okay. But I'm not saying this just happens to us. Everyone thinks it doesn't just happen to us. And if you're out there, if you're a Dolphin fan laughing about it or this, guess what? This is going to happen to you at some time too. Okay. There's a favor in a fucking game almost every week that the refs have, and it's going to happen to you. And it just so happens it happens.
It's just very polarized because Micah Parsons speaks a big game as well.
That too. And it happens away a lot. And the thing with our team, what I brought up earlier, is we crumble. We can't overcome stuff like that for some reason. It gets to our fucking head, and before you know it, they're running for 100 yards against us, or they're making big plays. We just crumble. And that's the thing that hurts us, man. And that's going to continue on the road, because on the road, we are awful, guys. Okay. And how awful are we? We beat the Chargers. Fine. By a field goal on Monday night. Now, let's say the 5-10 fucking Chargers. Let's just say that. We barely beat them in the final seconds. We beat the Panthers. It was 17-17 going into the fourth quarter. And I quote Dave Little Sturch texting, "I saw this coming the whole time," meaning he actually thought we were going to lose that game. That's how bad we were playing in Carolina. We ended up pulling it off in the end, but yeah. And then we all know Arizona, blown out. Fucking 49ers, blown out. Buffalo,
What's our third road win? Oh, the Giants. Never mind.
Yeah, the Giants, yeah. I'm an opening, but I'm just saying though. Fucking Buffalo ran out. Fucking we all know what happened with Miami, and Philly was close. Okay.
Now,
but we're just awful, bro. And what you said, Sturch, and you made a joke about it. It's not a joke. Tampa, this isn't the Tom Brady Bucks.
No,
this
it's not.
Bucks team is playing fucking good. Mayfield's playing out of his mind.
Rashad White scores every week.
Their defense is playing very well. There is a good fucking chance if we go to Tampa, we leave with an L, because we're fucking awful. I have no faith in this team on the road at all. Awful.
And guess what? I mean, look, here's the scenarios. Everybody knows it by now. I'll reiterate to the person that just completely is befuddled and they don't know what's going on. The Dallas Cowboys can actually win the NFC East with one loss by the Eagles in the next 2 games, and the Cowboys got to win out. We'll get into the Lions in a minute, but if the Cowboys beat the Lions and the Redskins, the Cowboys can win the division if the Eagles slip up against the Cardinals or the Giants in MetLife. Now, that's a thing, right? That could be as high as a 2 seed or a 3 seed, depending on how the Lions do. And if we beat the Lions this week, more than likely it could be a 2 seed, which means 2 home games, technically, right? You can get that first wild card game where you're not going to have to bye, but you'll host, you'll do your thing, you'll play your home game, you'll win. The next week, guess what? Another lesser team is coming in. The only better team than you is the Niners. You can't play them in the second round. So that gives you almost 2 guaranteed home games. That is what's most troubling to me, is because when you say it like last week, Bills, desperate, got to win out, right? Miami, to me, they clinched based off beating us, right? But we all knew Miami was going to be a playoff team. But hey, we get this win on Christmas Eve against the big, bad Dallas Cowboys. The fucking people are going to be like, we finally beat a good team, right? And so those teams, I don't remember how we had it. My dad and me always do the win-loss thing, just like we do on the show. And I know, yes, it was a joke, and Bret had him like fucking 11-0 or something crazy at one point. But I can't think who had what losses, what records off the top of my head. But if you look at the schedule, and I'm going to say, I didn't give them. Did I pick the Cowboys to beat the Bills in the week to week? Yes. Did I pick them to beat the Bills in the beginning of the season in Buffalo? I don't think I did. I can't be sure.
Like I said, that's all stupid, though.
But what I'm saying is, the Dallas Cowboys have still an opportunity to go 12-5 for the 3rd straight season, right? And just because of the fact that their road woes are as brutal as they are, they have a chance to still kind of right the ship with 2 weeks to go. However, you lose a game like this in Miami, the way you lost it, where things were we're getting pushed around. You know, we got injuries that are plaguing us right now. There can't be a Cowboy fan alive. We all know the scenarios, but are you confident that they play out the way they could?
I think the Cowboy fans that don't watch every play of every game and, like, you know, watch a highlight here and there think, oh yeah, we can win, we can beat anyone. Those fans, people like us that watch every fucking play of every game
Too
and
many
evaluate,
times.
we're worried. And if you're not worried, I don't know what the fuck you're watching.
And look, now here, we'll segue into the Lions, because that's what's coming up now, right? The Lions just won the NFC North for the first time since 1993, right? Jurassic Park was the #1 movie in theaters. So it's been that fucking long since the Lions have won a division. They have a chance to get to the 2, right? I mean, they know that that's there. If they beat the Cowboys, they could be the 2 seed right behind the 49ers. Now, or the Eagles, rather. Like, both. Either way. Doesn't matter. How it shakes out, the Lions could very well possibly be the 2 seed.
Can
so
I
that
say
right there
this is a must-win for us?
110,000%.
For what? Just the division?
I mean,
No,
it's an important game.
Just in relevance to the season. Yes, we're in the playoffs. Yes, we've lost 2 straight. This is an NFC game. You want to prove to everybody that you're still that high-powered team at home? You need to do it. And I already know my prediction. We'll get into it in a minute. I already know exactly what I think is going to happen in this game. I really do have a very, very vivid idea of what can happen in this Lions game. I think they want this shit. The Lions want to spoil the biggest party that the Cowboys are going to put on. Why? Irvin, Aikman, Emmett, they're all going to be in attendance. It's Jimmy Johnson Day, right? Everybody and their fucking mother's going to be watching this game. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on their call. National TV. This is a terrible spot for the Dallas Cowboys to be in. I'm telling you right now.
All right, this is what I'll say about this Lions game coming up. I don't care. And when I say I don't care, I really don't think we're going to win the division, okay? And basically what's going to happen is if we beat Detroit and then the Eagles beat Arizona, it's going to come down to the last week.
Scoreboard
just like
watching.
last season, same teams. Cowboys at Washington, Philly at Giants, and whatever, So, but anyways, regardless, I'm looking at the bigger picture. And when I say that is, if we're going the wild card route and we play Tampa and we beat Tampa, say we do, which is a 50-50, guess where we're going? We're going to fucking Detroit, okay? And we're playing in Detroit. The last time we played in Detroit, we all know what happens. We will get fucking murdered there, okay? They will not be able to take the crowd. They will not be able to take the refs not making the calls that they should be making. There'll be stupid penalties, and it will be an ugly, ugly fucking loss.
I see that completely the other way.
Of course you do, Sturch.
No,
But-
only because of the scene. Only because of the scene.
Let me finish.
It's
Let me
a
finish.
dome. It's a fucking a controlled environment. Go ahead.
Let me finish what I'm saying, bro.
right.
You're throwing me off, okay?
Sorry.
Now, that's why I would rather lose to them in Dallas. And the reason I say that is because when we go to Detroit, it will be more like it'll give the team more to get up for it. No one believes in you now. You already lost to him in Dallas. How the fuck are they going to beat him in Detroit? Yes, I think our team needs that kind of motivation, okay? If
You don't think these
blow them
last two
out-
losses? You don't think these last two losses are enough to get them up?
No, I don't. I think if we blow them out in Detroit and we end up going to Detroit, they're gonna do vice versa to us and blow us out. That's what I
Well,
think.
that's also saying that we're getting
And
past
that's-
Tampa.
if we go that path. If we go that path, we might not. We might not go that path. I don't know.
All right, so break it down though. How's this game playing out with Dallas? I know you don't care and you think it's better for
Well,
the.
of course, I
guess
always
the
want to
morale-
win.
No. But I'm saying you think it might be better for the team. I don't even know what the fuck it's better for, but
I'm saying though, if we end up playing Detroit in the playoffs in Detroit, okay. What I'm saying is, if we win
that's
this,
also
this,
if they're the two. That's
this
also
is
if they're the
exactly what I said with Buffalo. I know Bret says I'm always patting myself on the back. I said if we win this fucking game against Buffalo, we're going to the Super Bowl, and we got ran out. All I'm saying is, in this Detroit game, if we blow them out, we will lose to them in Detroit. Okay. It'll be fucking disgusting. It'll be a slaughter. All right. If we lose to them in Dallas,
circa 1991. Go ahead.
if we lose to them in Dallas, we either win or it's a closer game in Detroit when we play them. That's all I'm saying with that. Now, if you're asking me what I think we're going to fucking beat the shit out of them in Dallas. No, I do. I mean, look, Detroit hasn't been playing great at all.
No, not at all.
But I'm just saying that city's hyped right now. And this, if any team is going to go on the road and a fucking team that just, and going to Detroit, I know I'm saying if it's the playoffs, this is not the team at all. They're bitches on the road, bro. Yeah,
So-
and you can tell them I said that.
I
Fucking
will. I'll be
bitches.
sure. I'll add them. I'll add them on.
Yeah,
on
get
Twitter.
pissed off.
So, all right. So the Cowboys are winning. What's the score? You said beat the shit out of them. What do we got?
I could see, I don't know, 34-10 or some shit, 34-13.
Okay. All right. So the as much as your scenarios play out in the way that you think could play out, you still think the Cowboys get back home and they get back to just scoring points, shutting teams down, all that shit.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, look,
Okay.
and that's what when Bret was bringing up our offense earlier, and he's like, yo, we have the number one offense versus the Dolphins' 18th defense. What he's not looking at is where our offense is ranked when we're on the road. Because when
Correct.
we're on the road, our offense is fucking awful. So it's a different game. Now you're coming home where that number one offense is going to be. Okay. And Detroit, look, Detroit's having an awesome season. I think I don't know if we're the better team anymore. I think we have a better offense, maybe. I don't know about our defense anymore. That's where I'm suspect on is our defense. I mean,
And I think that if you have the leaders and you have these guys that are just dogs on defense, they hear that too. They hear the people saying, well, we thought Dallas's defense was elite, but it turns out they're not. They hear that. They do. It's not so much bulletin board shit, but it's just like, all right, we know what we are. We know what we can do, and when you've seen it, we've seen them outscore teams defensively just based off pick sixes and fumble returns and all this shit. We've seen that, right? We've seen them Cowboys do work. Bret, how do you see the Cowboys playing out in Dallas? Again, the Cowboys have lost 2 straight. Detroit just clinched the North. How do you see this one playing out?
I'm not hopeful, but I'm going to stay consistent. I'll pick Dallas to win in a close one. Let's say 33-29.
Interesting number there. All right, 33-29. Now, the line, I believe, was 6. The Cowboys were favored by, according to Vegas. That might close based off of how the money gets played in. I don't know how I feel about being 6-point favorites. Maybe because of the fact that we have ran out teams at home, right? And we've played our best football that we've ever seen this Cowboys team play at this year. Look, can they run the table at home? I think they could. And I think they will ultimately. But this, I know I said it last week that it was Aubrey's game-winning field goal. I think it comes down to that this time. 34-31. The Cowboys give up points a lot in bunches maybe. Here's the thing. And like I said, 34-31 Cowboys win last second field goal. Everybody's happy. Cowboys fan. Yay, right? 8-0 at home. Super. It really is. The way I look at the season now playing out with 2 weeks to go, I'm looking at the landscape around the Cowboys. I'm not really – the Cowboys are in the playoffs, right? Like, I'm wondering which teams could be beat, right? And, like, we all said, well, the Niners definitely can't be beat. Look at them. They're fucking killing teams, right? And then Baltimore sparks them in San Francisco, which – if that game was in Baltimore, I'd say, you know what, I get it. I totally get it. But they were run out of their own stadium. So I think the Niners come back and they completely do what they do the rest of the way. So the Niners are going to get the 1 seed. I think the Rams might play them tough in the last week of the season. Rams could beat them. But again, the Cowboys need to finish a game ahead. So I don't know if the Niners would have to lose out. I don't see that happening.
No, it's not.
With the Eagles, and a lot of people are bringing this up, and I kind of forgot about this. I'm all like, DeVito, right? And then, like, DeVito winds up getting benched at halftime. But, like, I think straight up that the Giants could absolutely beat the Eagles in that last week of the year. However, a lot of people have been commenting on my Twitter to not sleep on the Arizona Cardinals for the sole purpose of, A, Kyler is still trying to be Kyler and trying to show people that he's not ass, right? And B, there's a lot of familiarity there with the coaching staff, right? Like, he was a fucking Eagles coordinator for how many years? The guy knows the team, right? He knows the team like the back of his hand. There's a chance that the Cowboys, no bullshit, win the division by a game.
No, it can happen.
With the Eagles losing out, right?
Well, they're not going to lose out, but go ahead.
I don't think they're going to lose out either. I think they do handle Arizona, and I think the Giants give them a little bit of a pain in the ass thing, right? But if it doesn't happen and the Cowboys wind up 12-5 for the 3rd straight season, right, and they go on the road again, it doesn't seem like – it seems like everything leading up to this point was kind of worthless, if that makes sense. Like, beating teams by 40
Absolutely,
and shit is fun.
It does.
Beating teams by 40 is fun. Me and Bret were at one of the biggest routes. Me and my brother were at the 40-0 game. And I'm like, this is fuck. We've never seen the Cowboys play this good in my life. But if they go out there, they handle business next 2 weeks as I want to say should, because one is a home game where they've been playing the best, and B is Washington, who has pretty much given up on the season unless they want to fucking beat the Jets, which they almost did. But what I'm saying is, like, those 2 games are very, very winnable for the Cowboys to finish another season 12-5.
Okay.
You want to get hot at the right times. Aikman said on the broadcast last night, one of these teams got to get hot at the right time. Who's it going to be, right? Even he thinks it's kind of jockeying for position. I don't like the Cowboys on the road at all. I think the Cowboys have to say, look, we got to win these 2 games. These are must-win games because we are a better, much better team at home. So that's why I think these games and Bret's, I love Bret's got a must-win tattoo on his back, right? Like must-win is a must-win. These 2 are must-wins. Yeah, you can't control what Philly does. Yeah, you can't control what San Fran does. But you need to go into the playoffs with a little positivity, not this fucking I can't win on the road shit.
So I think the chances of the Cowboys winning the division are, if you give me a percentage, I'd say 60%.
That's high.
It is high because I do think there is a chance that they either drop to Arizona, because I know you're bringing up your Twitter people that are bringing that up, but I did bring that up last show, and I'm patting myself on the back again.
Sorry.
I know you don't listen to me when I talk. I realize.
No. This is just fresh in my mind because people are just hammering.
Go ahead. This kid's go ahead.
There's just little things that, I work hard on this show to bring up points, and then when they're reiterated without me, that does bother me a little bit. I'm sorry. Look, I don't have much going on in my life right now.
Recency bias is what I'll say.
Hold on.
Recency bias. I was hit up on Twitter overnight 17 times about the Cardinals could possibly win. That's why it's fresh in my mind.
What's crazy is that Keith doesn't acknowledge when we acknowledge he's right. We give him credit all the time.
Hold on, wait a second. But I want to say something about Washington.
Does he have I wonder if he has a dartboard with my second face.
Something about Washington, Sturch. This is what's scary about a team, okay? When a team is playing for nothing for so long, they become dangerous.
Sure.
It's when the team starts playing for nothing in the last couple of weeks where they kind of be like, they're used to playing for nothing now. That's why they fought back against the Jets. So if the 49ers think they're going to go in against Washington and this team, they're playing for nothing right now. And they've been playing for nothing for a while. So you know what that means they're playing for? Their fucking careers. They're playing for future contracts. They're playing to keep working. So I wouldn't put anything past Washington with as far as the Niners go, and us. I think they're a lame duck team because I think they're going to fire Ron Rivera regardless. Doesn't matter. Well, Ron Rivera wants to go out winning then too. I mean, dude, that's my whole thing is that there's a legacy behind people. They can give a fuck about a franchise. A lot of people play for themselves, and they're going to. I'm just saying. I mean, you're looking at it from a fan's perspective. As a person and as a player and as a coach, they're going to fucking want to go out winning. Are you saying right now on December 26th that there's a shot at the 1 seed? Because sure. Of that? Because now you're saying San Fran could possibly drop too. 20% chance, but we also play Washington the last game of the season, and we saw what happened to us last year when we did. You know what I'm saying? So I meant, I want to bring something up, and then really quick because I know we're going to get off. Back to the holding calls. What do you guys think of this? And I know it might sound ridiculous, but it's just so hard, and it just seems like everybody's holding now. What if they allow, listen to me, the offensive line to hold, okay? But you give an extra player to the defense. And what I'm trying to say is that you keep it inside of a box, like meaning receivers can't hold that inside, because where it's hard to see and it's convoluted and shit, just allow it. Besides face mask and horse collars and shit,
John Madden
can allow it.
John Madden's
they're doing it anyway.
John Madden says there's holding on every play. It's just a matter of when they call.
Why not just allow and to make
up?
They
do allow it. They do allow it.
You're missing my point. They don't allow because they still call holding. Not against us, but they call it against against our offense they do. But I'm just saying though. But to make up for it, give them a 13th player.
Yeah, fuck it.
13, right? 12. And they have to be inside the box. See what I'm saying? Like something like that.
Or let them do hands to the face, right? So bring back the head slap. If they want to hold, then they should have something to combat that to like really shock.
I got you, bro. But
punch him right in the fucking head.
I know it sounds stupid, but it's fictitious a little bit. But that's still the head slap that has to do with concussions and getting your head hit all the fucking time and stuff. So they're trying to stay away from the head. But anyways, I was just thinking that because it's so frustrating to watch, dude.
I just wish
tackled, we didn't talk about Sturch, that last first down run by the Dolphins when Damone Clark got tackled.
Damone Clark got tackled to the ground. Yeah.
Literally got tackled. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. And you know what the unfortunate part is? It seems like, look, we're watching every Cowboy game thoroughly. So yeah, we feel like it's probably just us. And it's not just us, but it just feels like it's more us. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop at this point. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for like the game where Micah gets like 7 calls. You know what I mean? Like, oh, here's all the makeup shit. Oh, now we get it. Like, if you're getting people, there's actually NFL officiating on Twitter. There's like a Twitter account for NFL officiating.
Right.
Their mentions are blowing up every week because of disgruntled fans or whatever. But like, At what point? And I know the NFL, and I've said this to a million people, even during like the pandemic, football might shut down. I said, football, you can't touch football with a fucking 100-foot pole. You can't.
No, you
They're
can't.
always going to be around. It's the biggest sport in the world. So like turning people off, I always say this. I'm like, if you're watching a game for the first time this season in particular, and you're like, I want to get into football this year, and I was talking to my buddy last night, the Ravens and the Niners game. I said there was fucking penalties called every other play for a certain amount of time, where it's like holding here, illegal contact here, blah 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 blah. Right? You're turning the fan off. You're turning the fan off. So at least acknowledge, hey, look, send a memo. You think there's a memo being sent around about the holdings? Send another memo. Say, look, we're fucking up here. There's a lot of people that are fucking angry, and we might lose viewership. They won't, but let's just say, but if that's the case, and the NFL and Goodell and all these people, they have this idea that people might not say boycott, but I mean, like, just say, like, look, I can't watch this shit. My team's getting fucking hosed every week, right? You would think that eventually that there would be a call. But because it's been 35 straight quarters where Micah has not drawn a penalty, well, that's been called. It's just to me, it's borderline insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Too is these accountability for these refs. You know what I mean? Like, they could just make all these bad calls or missed calls. So there should be, if we're going to allow holding, then we should issue maybe a death penalty for these guys, like a public execution.
Right? I'm sorry.
Fine them.
Ed Hockley's son, you missed 8 fucking penalty calls. Now you will narsel the Garth Arthur, whatever the fucking Coneheads thing was. You just have to go fight the monster.
Conehead.
Nice. Now, hey, Ed Hockley, guess what? Your son's in the basement now, tied up. So you need to rectify this call. You make one more bad call, Ed Hockley, we don't know what's going to happen.
It's the truth, though. It's sad.
I want one more shot to convince you guys of the score. Just one. And I'm going to give you a chance to change your prediction.
What do you mean? Of the Detroit game?
Yeah. I know you said they're going to win, but I'm going to give you one shot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to win. I'm just going to keep picking them because I might as well. I pick Dallas every game. I don't even think we're going to win.
So you don't think we're going to win?
Sell me on this.
Okay.
Sell me this pen.
Okay, so first off, I'm going to say is Goff's last 2 games in Dallas, okay?
Brutal.
Yes, was with the Colts. Not the Colts, I'm sorry. It was last year with the Lions.
And the Rams.
And then the Rams before on a Sunday night or Monday night or Sunday game, whatever it was. I think the final score was like 70. If you combine them, it's like fucking 65-6 or something, 65-10. So the last time Goff has been to Dallas, the last 2 times he's done awesome, okay? Not to mention where Sturch, you finally started believing what I was saying the whole season, and you got kind of, as soon as you posted on Twitter, we lose, which is, I find funny too, that the Sturch curse is
what the fuck?
Well, no, you literally brought up how awesome we are after a loss.
Oh, come on. The world brings that up. Everybody knows the Cowboys are good off a loss.
Once again,
the Sturch curse. We got the Sturch curse.
Bro, I could go through a lot of Sturch curses. I could go through after week 2.
I curse a lot.
Your post after we beat the Jets, bro, on Facebook, where this defense is elite. This is one of the greatest Dallas Cowboy teams ever. And then next week we lose to the Arizona Cardinals. It's the Sturch curse. And it's fine. You do this whole tweet about us. I'm just saying, now here's me trying to convince you. Not only did we lose 1 game, we lost 2 games. Okay. We're going back home to a place where that quarterback for the Lions gets frazzled a lot. Okay. That is why I'm picking this. Not only that, just every goddamn home game we've had except Seattle, even though we still got in the 30s with Dak, that how well we've played at home. And us losing 2 games in a row and coming home, and not only what you brought up, Sturch, what raised it even more was Micah complaining, the holding calls, I bet you those refs are going to start making calls in this game when we really don't need it, by the way. We'd rather have it on the road against fucking, Philly or something like that. And that's going to propel the score. And here's the thing to bring up. When's the last time we got a holding call?
35 quarters ago.
What game?
Chargers.
No.
Yes.
I thought it was Carolina.
No. Chargers.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I don't think you're. All right, let's look it up, Sturch. Let's go. $5 Venmo right now.
Wait. A holding call in general, a holding call against Micah?
A holding call against Micah.
Charger game. They reiterated this a bunch. So, David Sturchio on Venmo. if you're feeling froggy and generous, it is the holidays after all. You can send me $5. But all right, Keith, listen. Your Jared Goff analysis has in fact changed my prediction to 37-31. The Cowboys win by 6, and the Detroit Lions have a chance to come back and drive one last drive, and the defense holds them. That's how we win.
I still don't think we'll win. I'm just picking them.
You talk about hedging your fucking bet over there, Bret. It's like, yeah, no, I expect them to get fucking their shit kicked out, but I'll pick them.
If we win, then I'm not going to be like I told you. I don't care. If we lose, then I'll say I'm just picking Dallas to win because I have already. Might as well finish the season.
Yeah. It looks like according to Bret's picks, the Cowboys, if Bret would have been 100% accurate, the Cowboys would have went 17-0. So, in any event,
he had 15-2. You had 12-5, I think, Sturch.
Yeah, see, I know what the fuck.
And I think I had 11-6.
Yeah, well, you also have Cooper Rush in there. So.
Right. No, I'm just saying you asked. Yeah. But that's all stupid. Like I said, preseason picks are fucking.
What I want this week is I want fourth quarter hat Dak. Okay, that's what I want. Fourth quarter hat Dak is when he gets to put his hat on in the fourth quarter and Cooper Rush is out there because we're kicking the shit out of him. That's what I want. I just don't know if we can get it.
It's going to happen, guys.
Listen,
we're going to beat
me. You know me. I get giddy about your predictions because I feel like you're the most like honest, and I'm in my feelings a lot. But like, then I'm with it. I'm with you. I love it. Right? Do I think it happened? The only thing I will say is this, and I hate Mike McCarthy currently right now. Right now, I don't like him. I'm very 50-50 with Big Mike, right? 50. Sometimes I'm like, this guy is great. I love him. And then sometimes I'm like, I hate this guy. I want him off the field. Mm-hmm. I will say this about the Detroit Lions. That whole shtick to me is up. I think the whole Dan Campbell, Mr. I'll run through a brick wall and bite kneecaps off. I think that shit's done. I think he goes for it way too many times on fourth down, which I think is going to be a big, big thing this week. I think there's going to be a couple fourth down conversions that he's going to try to get, and we're going to stuff him, in which that would help propel Dallas, and then eventually Jared Goff leads him down the field. Or we can go back to 2018 where Jared Goff was a perfect handoff rating to that bowling ball bitch made fuck with the Rams as they beat us in LA. But anyway, he was the quarterback, right? Goff that year? Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
In any event,
I think his first 2 games against us when he played for the Rams, we lost. We lost one in Dallas and then one on the playoffs.
Was he there?
That's when fuckface fumbled the punt and didn't care. Switzer, remember?
Oh, Ryan Switzer, yeah.
He fumbled and cost us the game, and they're like, do you feel? He's like, I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad. There's also going to be plays that I make. Later,
and that's why he's coaching fucking the wide receivers at his local high school. So yeah. I don't want to hear that shit about Ryan Switzer. He's fucking younger than both of us, all 4 of us, 3 of us. Anyway, with that being said, I think Keith is still trying to look for the last holding call, but we'll get back to that. I'm sure he'll text me 5 minutes later and say, "Here it is, receipts."
Well, no, I mean, I don't know if it was Parsons or in general.
The general one could be a Panthers thing, but Parsons in particular hasn't been flagged. Nobody's got flagged on Parsons since the Charger game. So,
when are we going to get a fucking stat boy, dude?
What, like an intern?
Yeah.
Just
to have one on the side?
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? I'll pay him with the $5 you owe me. How about that?
Well, I don't owe you shit yet.
Anyway, with that being said, the Dallas Cowboys are set to take on the Detroit Lions on Saturday night, standalone national TV. Jimmy Johnson getting his fucking long overdue Ring of Honor ceremony at halftime. We're excited about that. We'll watch that. All the Cowboys will be there. It's a great thing. The Cowboys are doing the right thing finally. And hopefully they do the ultimate right thing and win a fucking football game. So for Dave Sturchio, Bret Ernst, Keith Ernst, this has been another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast. Let's get back on the right track. Go Cowboys. See you guys later.
Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Well, whatever.